Broadcasting from Brooklyn, New York. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. For me, it's good morning, everyone. It could be for other people who listen to us. Good morning as well, good afternoon, or good evening, good night, whenever you're listening to this. I appreciate you checking me out, my channel out, my podcast out. This is your first time, thank you. If this is not your first time, I thank you too for your continued support. I'm going to talk about a lot of things that is disturbing us a whole lot today. I guess I'll call this title, which I didn't give it a name yet before I wrote everything down. I guess it's Hear No Evil. This is basically talking about the state that we're in with generating the truth from our mouths and from our minds, and even passing that on to other people. It's a big problem because, of course, the statistics I'm going to go down into, it affects us, especially in this day and age, with a lot of technological capabilities and a lot of communications. All the devices we have, all the means we have, hence where you see me right now, listen to me on my own podcast, on different digital media. But it's something that's very important to me to at least try your best. Matter of fact, not even try your best. Be authentic. And there seems to be a great shortage of that. I'm not saying there's no one out there who doesn't put proper content out, or at least look to try their best to put out truthful and proper, whole information. In this day and age, we are very much programmed to be attracted to certain things. And like I said in my past podcasts, are we not entertained? We are groomed for the oohs and the ahs, for certain catchphrases, for certain even sounds, colors, all those things. People go to school and spend billions of dollars studying our brain and what's going on in the culture so we can have our attention garnered to whatever they're selling or peddling. I'm kind of close to the trains here, a little bit above ground, but you know what? You're still going to hear me. It's a fantastic mic, and I think I have a decent voice. All right, first statistics here. This was taken circa 2016, a few years back. The source is PewResearch.com. 64% of adult Americans believe fake news causes confusion. 23% shared fake news, some intentionally, some weren't. So, at least people, a good amount of people, a majority, would understand that fake news causes confusion. When you have confusion, aka chaos, you can have a lot of destruction, a lot of distraction, a lot of divisiveness. Hopefully you can still hear me passing train. I don't know which one it's probably the B or the D, maybe, whichever one. Welcome to New York. Anyways, that's a good amount of people who believe that, they have an idea of what fake news causes, because even though we have this term, fake it to make it, and I'll get back to that later on in my couple of other points that I have to make here, people still cherish the truth, even though we may not follow it all the time on our individual paths and our mindsets and our own actions and decisions to make certain things. And 23% of people shit it unintentionally because they thought that, the sources were good, or at least they had, they were vetted. And then some of those people, they knew. So they just wanted to cause a stir for certain things, which is, it is deception. Going further into another stat is a few further back right now. 2015. Clickbait sites were 23% of online content. And in 2016, they were 25%. So you see a little rise jumping up. I really feel there's more. I believe there's more going on with that. And these tactics were used by mainstream and independent entities. The source of this information was inc.com. And that goes a far way again to what I said, fake it till you make it, because people know who have a product or service or even media content that they want people to get attracted to basically what they do is show you a title or even a thumbnail where you think you're getting one thing when you click on it, and it's something different. It's not entirely true, or it's not true at all, because it's still understanding that more traffic you get to your website or your channel or your platform of media, the more attention you would get from people who want you to sponsor or want to sponsor you, whether it's giving you products to try, whether they actually give you monetary compensation because they figure, oh, this person or these entities are getting a lot of traffic. So people understand what the recipe is, even though they will put their own fake ingredients into their own recipe to try and get success, what's garnered as success. That's where our mindsets are. And unfortunately, yes, it's done by, like I said before in the last stats, for mainstream media and independent entities. That's where we are right now. Not saying it never happened before the spawn of the digital media age. Can you imagine how much people, were fooled by what you would think is a snake oil salesman back in the day, where people didn't really have much solid sources of immediate back checking. They didn't have like a Google, or they didn't have any other sources they could at least, or a news media site where they know, like, this guy is not telling us what he's supposed to tell us. So imagine how much people got over back then off of word of mouth. And unfortunately, a lot of people, got put to death. People got destroyed. Money has been taken, so much damage, and it's still happening to this day. And the same thing we all know about, not to click on phishing links or scam links. And we have a lot of these scam calls where people try, again, in a sense, it's kind of like clickbait, basically. But it's not as damaging. It's just the clickbait is just, getting your attention. They get another hit, and they probably get, one more towards their goal of wanting to get millions of dollars or sponsorship or whatever the case is, where unlike, scams, it ruins your life. But at the same time, it's very deceptive practices that, none of us like, but at the same time, many of us have practiced certain things, levels of deception in our lives. Case in point, my next stat is, this is circa 2017, not too far away. The source of this is inc.com, inc.com. And it states that 85% of people fabricated things on their job application or resume. 85%. That's almost everybody. And guess what? In the past, I was included in that 85% too. Because going back to what I just said earlier, fake it till you make it. Oh boy, that term right there was the anthem for a lot of people to justify them lying to people who they figure is going to be honest with them. And I know a lot of people, who are probably in HR or hiring officials know this. But the sad truth is that, yes, we feel that, again, money, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. We understand that money, status, and how this world is currently operating, that's what runs everything. And we understand that, if we don't have that, we don't have as much options, we don't have as much freedom, because everything is basically tied to finances unless you literally have your own property and you grow your own stuff and you have your trade where you can make yourself produce a different kind of value than the most of us who hump it and go to the jobs 9 to 5. So this leads people to pursue it by any means necessary. You always hear stories of it. There are movies about it. You hear of someone who knows someone, who lied on their resume, or someone who got caught up in something that, was not true, that they were trying to project as true. But yes, speaking from experience, you want to get your foot in the door. You want to try and get as much as you possibly can, given your either skill level or what's available in the market at that time, as opposed to really, working on yourself. Don't put your trust in man. Don't really put your trust in what people may deem as successful or even valuable. Because what's going to happen, you're going to screw up your own standards based on someone else's system or someone else's perception of what should be success in your eyes. The unfortunate thing about this is that this is not going to stop anytime soon. People will still generate fake news. People will still spread fake news. People will still make clickbait thumbnails and titles just to get your click. They don't care about you. They just want that click. They want, that's a number. You're a number for them just so they can raise their numbers, whatever their numbers are, whatever their incentive is. They're using that click to get what they want, even if it's deceptive. This is why many people still lie, have lied on their job applications or resumes. A lot of us lie to ourselves every day. A lot of us lie to our significant others or people who we want to pursue as our significant others, because no one really wants to show their weaknesses, because people don't hire you for weaknesses. People don't clamor to you for your weaknesses unless it's someone who wants to exploit you, like a pimp, or someone who likes to just use you and keep you down and just have something over you. It's still, and when you look at it on that aspect, it's still looked at something that's very negative, wicked, And the reason I talk about all of this is that truth still remains more valuable than anything gold, platinum. Truth is life. Truth is life. I always talk about us having to live within the means of laws, physical laws. We also have moral laws, it's tied into spiritual life as well. We could not follow certain things, but the truth is, lies damage. Anything other than the truth, it causes damage. It causes chaos. Chaos is confusion. Confusion causes so much things to be destructive. Truth is life. It's true that we need blood. We could say that we don't need blood, or we could say that, law or truth is relative, but it gets down to a certain point where, to the bare basics, where we need to know that things are solid and consistent. There's nothing more solid and consistent than the truth. The sun rises every day and gives heat. The sun that was behind me, but it went up a little bit more. You can see a little bit peeking out right over here for the people who have the YouTube streaming. Just like the water, will get you wet. You jump in and come out. Just as you need your heart to pump blood. That's just certain things that are just truth. Because no matter what your philosophy is or your upbringing was, there are certain things that we just need to know, to speak properly, to act properly, to think properly, just to basically live properly. No matter how complicated our lives may be, there's nothing as simple and straightforward as the truth. The unfortunate part is, all it takes is one person to cause panic. It has caused that one fake news story to cause panic, and we are already in very sensitive times right now. We already were in sensitive times. We just didn't realize how sensitive and dire the situation was. And my whole stance with everything that's going on too, it's like we should have been doing all this stuff before. Not so much the masks and the gloves and social distancing, but just the fact of not living as healthy as we possibly could have been. And these are some of the things that go into truth. We hear no evil. We shouldn't hear any evil, because if people really had our well-being in mind, there would be so much food products we wouldn't eat. There'd be so much food products that wouldn't even be produced. There'll be food products and other products that people wouldn't even think of making, because they know truthfully these things can harm you. So much people make so much things not because they care about you. They don't make things to catch your eye or your attention because they want the very best for you. They want your money. You're a number to them. And the unfortunate thing is, yes, right now, many of us needed to take the situation to really see what's going on, to actually take stock of what we should have been doing all along. Even until now, so much people are taking precautions with buying gloves and masks and everything. That's cool, but then we now have even more trash added to the ground. We have so much plastic gloves out there. Anyways, I don't want to derail myself too much from the theme of what this is. Again, if people were really truthful and not deceptive and trying to garner your attention with certain things, we found a way to get money. There's a market, we got a corner, and so much of these markets have a bit of the deception in it. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to, you have to fabricate your resume. You got to fake it till you make it. You know you got good stuff in there, but you may have to fluff yourself up a bit to get even noticed or your foot in the door. I don't advise that, but I will say I understand why people would do that. But you can't really build off, what's the term I heard? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I probably should have used that as the title. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. We have to understand now, we need to stop lying to ourselves. Me, I need to be more consistent with working out. I like to work out. I honestly do, but I don't do it all the time. But I have to be honest with myself. I need to go make sure I schedule myself and make myself more disciplined. As opposed to it'll be all right, or I could take this little slice of sweet stuff, or I ain't got to do it today. No, we have to be consistent. You want proper results, you want direct results, you have to understand what the truth is of the matter. You want success, you have to plan for success and then execute that plan. You can actually plan for failure, which I've heard in other people, other speakers speak about that before too. If you don't plan for success, then you're actually legit planning for failure. The truth is tied into everything. It basically molds what we do as an individual and as a people altogether. I don't care for the clickbaiting or the fake news and everything and all that. I understand why, but that's a major reason of why we are where we are as a whole, not just here in New York or America, or the whole world, as a matter of fact. So much things cause divisiveness because of deception, because of knowing deception, not because someone was ignorant and they made a decision based on all the information they had right there. Somebody, somewhere, fabricated something, and that causes so much divisiveness, and that causes so much distraction. Now, we've been distracted for far too long. We should take the time to make sure whatever comes out of your mouth, or whatever actions come from your mind and your body are transparent, or you could explain yourself if you need to in the mirror, or if someone, just happens to question you have nothing to hide. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And, if you fall, it's okay. It's all right. You can flounder and fall and flop at times, but learn from it. Truth would sting, but it's just like iodine or alcohol. It cleans. It stings. It may hurt, but you know what? It cleans you out to be a better person as a whole. It's okay. But anyways, basically was talking about words and how you use your words and how we need something solid. We need truth in our lives. Anything less is just pure destructive agents and chaos. We don't need any more of that. Well, that about does it. And I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for listening. If you want to check out all of my content, of course, you can go to my website, which is www.brooklynbaritone.com. And my YouTube channel is Brooklyn Baritone. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I'm even on the Google Play Store and the Apple iTunes Play Store. Thank you for listening. I hope I provoked some kind of thought, and I hope at least, if anything, kept your interest somewhat, some way, shape, or form. I want you guys to be safe out there. I want you to make sure that you know that you are loved and thought about, blessed, walk good. You will hear from me next week. Well, take care.